In YNAROS Fallen, you will play as a magical creature trying to acquire the power of the land to become the most powerful shaman of YNAROS. The game comes with 3 levels of experience, and we will focus on the basic for now and talk a little about the expert levels later on. The goal of the game is to have the most XPs at the end of the game, or to have your opponent surrender by depleting their vital crystals. Let's jump into a quick setup. The board here is set with a 2-player account, like so. Your shadow die will be set to 4, and on the board you'll have 5 mystical sources with 5 crystals. At the beginning of the game, you flip them up and you put the corresponding crystal on each one. Put 1 shaman character in your hearth area and 1 follower in your hut area. The rest will go on your character mini board. For the battle board, you'll place your vital stones, battle pawns, and battle dice on these areas. Shuffle the shadow cards and make a deck next to the battle board. Finally, for the magic land tiles, you'll place 2 piles of red ones face up on the board here and there. For the 4 regular magic land tiles, draft them between players, each player placing 2 of them face down in an open area on the board. You're now ready to play. The game is played in 3 phases. Phase 1 is called Deeds. Here you can perform 2 actions from this list: draw, play, move, and control. Draw makes you draw 5 shadow cards. Play makes you play those cards to increase the shadow dice. Move allows you to move your characters on the board using your shadow dice, and control allows you to play a crystal onto another character to control their power. Let's take a look at these in details. Draw 5 cards is simple enough, but know that you can only have 5 cards in hand. Playing shadow cards allows you to increase your shadow die by the color on the card, yellow, blue, or dark. Move is also straightforward. You simply move any number of your characters using the number on your shadow die. Once you finish the movement, your die immediately decreases by 1. Note that the shadow die ranges from 2 to 7. Control is one of the more complex actions of the game. Here, if you have a line of sight and a straight path to an opponent's character, you can use one of your crystals to perform a special ability. Use a green one to use the power of the green magic land. Use a red one to add your opponent's shadow die number to your own to perform a longer move action. Or use an orange one to roll a battle die to decrease the magic energy of your opponent. We then move to the Fate phase, which only happens when something on the main board needs to be resolved. There can be 4 events to resolve, so let's talk about them. Event 1. If a character ends their turn on a mystical tile, they will discover it, flipping up the magic land tiles with the highest activation energy. If there is a magical crystal on the mystical source, you can take it immediately or leave it there to protect you from your opponent. Event 2, you can conquer discovered magic lands by reaching them, and once there you must perform a few steps. If you fulfill the requirements, take that land and place it next to your player board, like so. Take rewards described in the land. The character goes back to their original spot. Finally, you'll take the magic crystal of that land's color and place it on your board. Here is a sample of the requirement you might need. Event 3, if you move into your opponent's empty hearth with any character, you can discard a crystal to invoke a new follower into your hut or to evolve one of your followers into a shaman. In all cases, the character is performing the evocation, and any new evoked character will return to the place of origin. Event 4, Magic Battle. If one of your characters is in the same hex as an opposing character, a magic battle is triggered. Focus allows you to move up to 3 of your personal crystals to the conversion area here. Once you have all 3, they convert into victory points. 3 of the same will grant you 12 XPs, and any 3 crystals will grant you 10. This is your main source of victory points. Now let's get back to magic battles. You will use your cards and crystals to form spells, and players will lose energy on the magic tracker board. If the character reaches the skull icon here at the end of the battle, they are removed from the game if it's a follower, or downgraded to a follower if it's a shaman. After the battle, you'll turn the opponent's damage into victory points, and the winner gets as well a vital crystal from the loser and pushes back the opponent's character back to the place of origin. The game can end in 4 different ways. A player fills up all 6 land spaces on their board, or 3 magic land piles have been depleted, or a player loses all their vital stones, and lastly, if a player loses all their characters. If any of the last two happen, the game is over, but that player wins without counting victory points. YNAROS FALLIN is an easy and fun strategy game full of tactics for 1 to 2 and 4 players. It also has a different variants and modes you can play depending on your skill level, and it already has an expansion pack. Level 2 brings shadow tiles to build your own path of magic, and while in level 3 you will be collecting experience fragments and building temples. The expansions will bring more experience and, most importantly, the solo mode, which is a series of independent campaigns where you will explore the land as the last shaman, discovering magic islands, and fighting or fleeing from monsters. For more information on this resource management dueling game, check out their Kickstarter, and as always, if you like it, back it. Subscribe now to our channel to stay in the loop. If you like our work, help us continue by sharing the channel to your gaming group. Thanks for watching and happy gaming.